With everything you have on your plate, earning your degree online seems impossible. But at Grand Canyon University, we specialize in helping you fit a master's degree in business into your busy day. Your graduation team, led by your own GCU counselor, provides you with the personal support you need to succeed. Achieve your goals with a plan and team behind you. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu. Grand Canyon University's RN to BSN online degree program makes earning your bachelor's in nursing possible. Balance online coursework with local in-person clinicals to position yourself for potential leadership opportunities in the time you have from wherever you are, leaving room for what matters. Achieve your goals with your personalized plan and team behind you. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
The following program are pre-recorded Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Time for our social media update with Jordan. And, what I've been following big in the dating app world, not that I use dating apps, but just thought I'd throw that out there. But Bumble, which is one of the original kind of dating apps. It's been around for a long time. And it was kind of a little bit of a social experiment, Jordan. And in the fact that it was, no creepers, no stalkers, no nothing, because guys on the app couldn't make the first move. It was up to women on the app to make the first move. But the app subscriptions have been incredibly dwindling because women don't make the first move. Well, so I call Bumble as an app a social experiment.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so the new thing that Bumble has rolled out is an AI dating concierge. That's their newest feature that they've got rolling, which is a nightmare, number one. And number two,
it's all part of reinventing themselves.
Hey, look, we got to reinvent ourselves, you know? Yeah, it's great. I don't know. I think it's great that Bumble existed in the first place. Making the first move, is an interesting way to do it. I just don't know. I don't know, Steve. I think it's you and me, that's women don't make the first move to us,
Okay. I'll give you that. You're probably completely right on that one. But, going back and looking at where Bumble started and how it was kind of, we're going to be different. But now guys can make the first move.
Yeah.
And now how do they differentiate themselves from other social dating apps?
Right. Yeah.
And that's where this AI piece is coming in.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's interesting too, because it's the people are talking about how it's this dystopian future a little bit, there's this show on Netflix called Black Mirror. Are you familiar with this?
I have.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a literally lifted from an episode of Black Mirror in which people are dating AI, thinking it's a real person or knowing it's AI straight up. And it's very interesting to see this.
Okay. The creepy part for me is the people that know it's AI and they're okay with dating a computer.
Yeah.
And we talked about that several months ago about, what's that look like with AI and the big rush with, AI robots that are dating robots and
right.
The number of people that are like, oh yeah, I'd date an AI robot. Really? Really? You need to stop playing video games and get out of your parents' basement. Please. You're 42. I'm just guessing that's probably most of those numbers that came back. But there was a lot of people that were like, yeah, I'd date an AI robot because they don't want the social interaction.
Yeah, they don't need commitment. Yeah.
Because we need more sociopaths. I don't know.
I don't know either. That's the thing. There's so many people in this world and so many individual facets of people, so it's funny. The front runners of the weirdo community are like, yeah, date AI. And that's like headlines as opposed to being in the shadows where the creeps kind of belong. No offense.
But that's part of this though, because now you take a look at what takes place in mainstream media.
Right.
And that's the headline.
Right.
That's the story. That's hey, people would do this, so must be okay. No, it's not.
No, it's not. I mean, some people I think asked, they would rob a bank if they could, right? If they had the facilities to do so. Doesn't mean it's a good or right thing.
If I'm not going to get caught, I have no consequences, and I'm going to get all this money. Sure, I'd think about that. Yeah,
right. Of course. I mean, and if that's obviously a really harsh example, but it is one of those things where it's me personally, I wouldn't date AI. Steve, would you date AI?
No.
Well, there you go. I think that's, I mean, but I'm not going to disregard it all the way, because I think it's literally an AI concierge. So it's supposed to match you with very hyper specific people to what you are looking for. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know yet. It feels bad, I will say.
So where's the differentiation? Because there's a tipping point on things like this. And where's the differentiation between, okay, you're getting too far down the road of, okay, just pick somebody for me. Oh, wait a minute. Now, through AI or with AI, we're going back to the world of arranged marriages.
Right.
Or arranged relationship. Because I see a little of that in this.
Yeah. And
this is my perfect blah, 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 blah. Well, that doesn't exist. Okay, how about this one? And AI goes and finds it. And likewise, somebody on the other. Okay. That's an arranged relationship. That's no.
Sure. Even more specifically, like a mail order Russian bride, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, these are the exact specifications. Send her over. You know what I'm talking about? So it's one of those interesting things where you can potentially find your perfect match, someone who has a lot of things in common with you. But I mean, at what cost is it? You know, it is one of those funny things. There's a movie that came out in 2013 called Her, starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Remember that?
In which he dates Scarlett Johansson, but she's an AI, right? So that's the whole thing, is he's in love with his AI, and he like goes and does things out in public.
It's kind of like Avatar.
Exactly. It's a good movie, I think. You know, it's got Chris Pratt in it. He's a funny character, but the whole thing is like, it's becoming so real. It used to be like, yeah, that's far-fetched, you know, no one would have a mustache and wear high-waisted pants and date an AI, but like, it's happening. Everybody has a mustache and high-waisted pants now, Steve, including you.
I do not. Actually, I am wearing a sport coat and a tie today because I had some other commitments, and
you've been on a Bumble date,
and I refused to do. No, I did not. Nobody swiped for me. But I refused to wear the no socks high pants.
Yeah.
Look, that's just, we're not going there.
That's okay.
I'll kick it old school for a while. Okay, so when you're looking at the arranged relationship stuff, and I think the AI piece of this is in its infancy. So there's a lot of directions it can go. Where do you think it might go? Because I can see some value in that concierge model.
Right.
There's some benefits there. You know, people hire somebody to a matchmaker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually a thing. It takes place. Usually for the incredibly wealthy that don't have time to date.
Right.
They want somebody on their arm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of websites are, you know, they're putting in AI features, you know, like the Meta AI, and Google had one that they took away. I think it's just another feature that they're really just trying to integrate AI into to make it more modern, make it more up to date. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I think it's interesting.
So from the dating perspective, then if you're going to have this concierge, and how far does it go? I mean, it's like, hey, oh, and by the way, while you're at it, make the wedding arrangements.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, because if I see an AI concierge, then I'm thinking cradle to grave. I mean, they can do it all, right? No pun intended there or any inferences about marriage, but who knows?
Super Talk.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. Whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, GCU's learning environments are designed for supportive networking and collaboration. With over 330 academic programs, GCU provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. The pursuit to serve others is yours. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
So there's a big kerfuffle going on right now because of a little marketing campaign and some ads And Chris, walk us through where the little foible with Apple was.
Yeah, they have a new ad out that they've since
So they have a new device out.
Well, yeah, they just announced the new iPad Pro. It's supposed to be the thinnest iPad ever.
Like a credit card, right?
I'm not sure exactly how thin, but I stumbled on this as a YouTube ad, and I thought it was interesting, and I thought it was clever. It's a stack of analog and digital tools, pianos, paints, sculptures. I think there's a metronome, a few musical instruments. It's under a hydraulic press. And the point they're trying to make is, look at all this great stuff that it used to take a whole truckload of things to do. You can now do it all on the iPad. And they crush all this.
So all this stuff fits into what the thickness of that iPad
Yeah,
is.
so basically they're crushing it all.
Okay, it makes a lot of sense. We're music and art and social stuff and information and history and all these different pieces because you can put them all on a device now.
And it got so much visceral reaction online. I wasn't even aware of this until I saw it on the news this morning. They're viewing it as Apple missing the mark, that it's a sign.
People are upset about that?
That's a sign that technology is trying to destroy creativity.
What?
Is what the argument is being made by some people. And I can see where Apple's trying to make the argument that, yeah, you can do all this stuff because Apple is always about creative types. So
yeah,
to attack them for being anti-creative, I think is kind of weird.
That's the part I find incredibly, almost insulting. I mean, Apple is creativity.
Right.
And being attacked for attacking creativity when your construct is creativity makes zero sense. And where my default goes with this is, what the heck kind of a culture are we?
Yeah, it's like here, I'm going to read a little bit from TechCrunch. Here's a quote. It's not that the stuff is so valuable that it shouldn't be crushed. We could do with a few fewer disused baby grands. Let's see here.
I actually had a friend that had a musician in Nashville and had all these, and he was a brass player and had done that to all of the instruments he's played. So he had a paper thin on the wall saxophone and alto sax and trumpet and all these different brass instruments because, well, brass is a malleable metal and crushable. And he thought it'd be a cool art statement. And it was. It was creative. It was art. And I can't wait until somebody that is offended by this Apple ad walks into his studio and goes, that's offensive.
Here's what the crux of this TechCrunch ad article. What Apple is doing is destroying these things to convince you that you do not need them. All you need is their little device that can do all that and more. No need for annoying stuff like strings, keys, buttons, brushes, or mixing stations. And basically saying media is moving wholesale into the digital market, so analog is going away. We need physical. We shouldn't all be online. And I think Hugh Grant was quoted as tweeting, "The destruction of humanity courtesy of Silicon Valley." I mean, I think it's a little bit overblown, but I can see the point of those that are upset about this is that, yes, Apple is saying you don't need all these things to do the creation. You can do it all on our device. But they're not saying that's the only way to do it.
Not the only way to do it.
Right. Apple's always been the camera that's always in your pocket.
But this is a social piece now, in social outrage. The problem is people are too reactive. It's like, oh, clever marketing campaign. Great. Instead, they're going, well, that's offensive. Well, but slow down. Just stop for a minute. And when we have things in social construct, we get too far off center. It's too far this way, and then it reacts too far back this way, and then the pendulum swings way. It's like, everybody just calm down. And things,
the iPhone
should be in balance.
And the iPhone first got its camera, everyone's like, oh, you're going to destroy, DSLR.
Or they did destroy film. But
yeah, DSLRs destroyed film. And then after the iPhone destroyed the DSLR, it's like the DSLR is more superior. Well, the iPhone camera, sensor size doesn't matter. You know, it's about software and hardware. And because everyone's like, you need a big sensor to get a good picture because these are super tiny. And initially they were.
Not the case now because the software, what is it? The Google phone. You can take a picture and then whatever you want to do with that picture after the fact, it looks better than you took the picture.
Right. And even on the iPhone 15, I think with the camera, you can move the point of the focal point in a photo before and after the shot. So you can
That's
always
amazing.
Yeah. Somebody did come up with an ad where they said, "Hey, Apple, I fixed it for you." And he's a creator. He ran the video in reverse, the commercial in reverse. So it starts with a thin iPad and then everything grows out of the iPad. And he said it to Sonny and Cher's I Got You, Babe.
Clever marketing as well.
At his point, he's like, look at all this stuff you can get out of the iPad. And he's saying that would have been a better argument. But, Apple's apologized for it. They said they missed the mark.
I don't know why they apologized.
I think it's a clever ad.
I think it's a clever ad too. I think both of them are clever ads. Question would be, what do you want to crush? I think we should do our own ad. Let's go crush stuff, Chris.
Oh, right.
Crushing stuff is fun.
Yeah, there's videos all about it.
Yes. We're going to have fun crushing stuff.
And crushing is creativity.
Crushing is creative. So again, people get too wound up in stuff that really it was a clever ad and it's really thin. So if you had the ability to crush anything you wanted, what would you crush, Chris?
Oh, see, other than hearts?
No, Jordan and I talked about Bumble apps.
Oh, okay. So that's something else. No, I always enjoyed crushing cans. When you started recycling aluminum cans back in the day, you would get this big vise that you just put the can in and you go and you crush them and you make them small, like little pocky pucks. My grandfather's way of doing it is he would get old railroad ties and he used one as kind of an anvil or as a backstop. And so he had a railroad tie, and then he had one that was like cut so you could hold it in your hand, and it would just be like plop. So just stood there down in his basement crushing cans, just picking up these heavy railroad ties and just crushing them.
Apparently that's what you do if you have spare time in your hands.
Yeah, we had a lot of spare time on my hands, yeah.
Okay, and then what do you do with the cans? Recycled aluminum, right?
Yeah, we just kind of threw them in a bucket and at some point.
Brought them into, because that used to be a thing. You bring your aluminum cans in and then you get paid for it per pound.
Yeah, when they passed away, he was a lineman. And he had a lot of copper and aluminum piping in his basement. I mean, pounds and pounds and pounds of it. And we were worried that somebody might think we stole the stuff. It's like, no, honestly, it was in his basement this whole time.
Hey, a lot of money. Okay, we're going to have a party. Grandpa's gone. We're going to celebrate his life.
That's right.
America. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. To serve others in ways that promote human flourishing and create a ripple effect of transformation for generations to come. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Program schedule, updated local news, sports, contests, and more. Visit today at supertalk1270.com.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
So whoever would have thought that Google could be challenged?
Just Google it. No, seriously, just Google it.
I know.
Challenge Google.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? That it's like everything that's on the internet at some time or another can be challenged. And I would think that most people thought that Google couldn't be, because they're just so large. I mean, they just dwarf every other search engine out there. So I don't know if this will be successful or not, but OpenAI, the people who created ChatGPT, are announcing on Monday, and I guess we better put the date out there, so May 12th, in case you're catching this after the fact, they're going to launch a competitor to Google.
Now, the question is, though, and Google's not the monstrosity that it is for no reason, how long before Google accentuates their search engine, their platform?
So
there's got to be an AI version of Google coming up.
Well, they already claim that they're using some of that. So, yeah, I mean, OpenAI plans to announce its artificial intelligence-powered search product on Monday, according to two sources familiar with the matter. The announcement date, though subject to change, of course, has not been previously reported. Bloomberg and the information have reported that Microsoft-backed OpenAI is working on a search product to potentially compete with Alphabet's Google, and with Perplexity, a well-funded AI search startup. So Microsoft already has its own search platform, Bing, and now they're going to have. I mean, are they going to
still a thing?
Well, some people will use
it. That either, but
yeah, that's kind of good actually.
I think it cherries.
And Bing already has AI built into it. They actually were one of the first to actually do that. I think people are just so used to using Google, but Google's kind of starting to crack a little bit. I mean, they're under a lot of pressure all the time. The privacy thing has become a huge deal because Google tracks everything.
Well, that's how they monetize.
Whether you say yes or no to it, you are still being tracked. It's. I think people are starting to understand that, and they're not happy about that.
Well, and who's really listening when your phone is sitting there and what's on the top of my phone? Google app. And my phone listens to me.
Yeah.
And you're having a conversation, then something pops up concerning that conversation. I just had that happen to a friend of mine yesterday. We're having a conversation. He's like, why do I have this?
Right.
I'm like, stop listening to me.
Yeah. It's always listening. It has to listen because it needs to listen in order to, it has to always be listening, because if it's not listening, it doesn't know how to react to the, Google scenario, or it's like Alexa or anything else, right?
It brings up another interesting question. And so what I've noticed, because by the way, did you get the new phone yet?
No,
you're still
be quiet.
I'm a
little jealous.
I'm not rubbing it in.
I need to,
because
it was only November when I got this one.
I know.
And even the person at the store said, "Are you sure, Mr. Anderson, that you want to get this now and not wait for the 24 to come out?" And I'm like, "No, I think I'd like to have a new phone now."
Okay, so I have the 24.
Yeah.
And by the way, it was free.
Samsung 24.
Yeah, Samsung.
It's not free.
It was free.
Not free.
Yeah, here's my old phone. They gave me a new phone.
Not
cost
free.
Me $32.
And but for how many years? You got to stay with the plan.
2.
Okay.
Yeah,
you gotta tell me they haven't built the $1,000 into your plan.
I always run out the plan. So in fact, Wendy, my wife, got a new phone too.
They're just keeping you for 2 years.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
She got another Apple, and we usually keep our phones for 4 or 5
because there's plenty of choices out there right now that would be less money per month than what you're paying.
But my S20 Ultra versus my S24 with AI Ultra, battery sucks.
So what somebody else told me too recently, other than
you know what, I'm the only place I can look is AI. I don't have any different apps. It's just. It's always utilizing more power because it's always working.
AI is energy intensive, no matter how you look at it. Yep. Has to be. It's like you said, it's always working.
Yeah. Well,
so it has to,
we're going to talk a little bit about data centers too and what they can.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So AI and yeah.
But I find it interesting. And I think of all the potential competitors to Google, I think the people behind ChatGPT, OpenAI, could give them a run for their money. It'll be interesting to see. I don't have the allegiance I used to have to Google. I don't know. I don't know how many other people feel that way.
You more so than a lot of people have delved into you've embraced the AI side of things more than most people probably. You utilize it a lot. But for the average person who's not going into ChatGPT and using some of those other platforms that are out there, how much of it's laziness? Well, I've always used Google, so I'll just keep using Google. It's kind of like,
so too.
Hey, Mozilla, Firefox, Bing. I mean, they've all popped up, but it's like, I'm comfortable here.
The one thing about that though, when you say that,
people are inherently lazy.
But if that's totally true, because when you get a computer, a PC, right?
What's loaded on it?
Bing. It's not Google. You have to go through the steps to get Chrome on your computer. So you can add Google to it. So it can't be total laziness because a lot of people prefer Google or Chrome. I mean, you can go to Google inside Bing
Now,
too.
My default on mine was Chrome.
You must have purchased a Chromebook or something then, because generally PC.
Oh, is that smoking deal I got on that last computer that you're like, where did you find that?
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
If that's the case, because if it's running Windows 11, Bing would be the default.
You would think.
Yeah. Unless Dell or whoever you got that from had made a deal with Google, which is possible. I mean, it is possible that they made a deal with Google to make that the default. But
The point is, it comes back to the money.
Yes, that's correct.
So if this group of computers, because this box store made this purchase and they got a really smoking good deal on it because it was ordered with Windows 11 and Google.
Yep, Google.
Because Google offset the cost.
Yeah, I mean, Google could have come in and said, "Hey, we're going to give you $50 a PC to put Chrome as the default in there,"
and they
must if that's the case, then Dell, did you say HP probably had to go back to Windows and say, we're either going to put Windows 11,
so
if you can't match it, we're just going to put Chrome on as the default. And I'm sure that's probably what happened.
Which brings up an interesting question. It's like, okay, how much technology is out there just for the highest bidder?
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, of course, Windows costs something for every PC that they put it on.
Super Talk 1270.
Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Usually it's me that's eating in the studio, not you. I have no Cheetos today.
No Cheetos.
No Cheetos today. But you're chewing it.
I popped in a vitamin thinking I had enough time.
Well, we're coming back from the break.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Now it's stuck in my gums.
See, it's not only me, folks. It's not only me.
I was recording television yesterday, and I had a crown put in the morning. And like an idiot, let's record television this afternoon, And the whole left side of my face is numb. And I never realized how difficult it is to talk, to enunciate well.
Oh, yeah.
And your mouth is numb.
All right. So as long as I've been in broadcasting, the one thing I've noticed, tired. If I'm really tired, it's really hard to enunciate.
It's something that you kind of learn after a while to slow down. I still get excited and talk too quick, I think. But yes.
Just saying. I'll give you a mulligan on that.
Thank you.
Won't charge you.
What do you, I was thinking about summer television watching on the break. And, they used to have, and I guess a little bit, there's the fall season where they kick off all the brand new shows and all that other stuff,
Right.
There really isn't much of that anymore because everybody kind of streams now and all that stuff. Do you think because we're able to stream more that we watch more television in the summertime now because you have that choice of, I'm going to binge watch this because it's a rainy weekend now?
Well, I think on the binge watching side, that's become more and more of a thing. So yes, but I mean, if you take a look at like series on Netflix or Amazon or wherever your Hulu, whatever you're streaming off of, I don't think it does make as much as you might go back and rewatch a show. But if you take a look at some of the series that they have, they're aligned with that same fall schedule. So, hey, summer break, but your favorite show, Downton Abbey or whatever you're watching, will be back in the fall.
But don't you think
the next season will be back in the fall? But when you watch it, it can be entirely up to you. You don't have to watch things when they first come out.
If you own Netflix or your Prime or whoever, right?
If I owned Netflix, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
That's probably true.
Okay. Still love you, Marlo,
but if you did, right? And you have 90 million people paying you $12 a month.
You're going to come up with new content.
That's my point.
You have to come up with new content.
Because you don't want those people paying you $12 a month to take the summer off.
But the big series, I think they bank that into, no pun intended, they bank that into the production schedule. So if you get this blockbuster series that people are going to watch, then do you film a few more episodes so it's fresh over the summer? Yeah, you do.
And I think the other thing that's the factor here is that a lot of people, there was this summer movie blockbuster season, basically, right? For whatever reason, the blockbusters, the big movies of the year would always come out in the summer. And
when the kids were out of school.
And you still get some of that. But the movie theaters, I mean, there just isn't the crowds going to those anymore. A couple movies here and there.
What was the last movie you went to in the theater?
I did actually go to Ghostbusters a week or two ago.
How was that?
It was okay, but I waited until the very end, and now I see it's available on Prime. So I barely beat the...
It's available the day it comes out.
Well, Ghostbusters wasn't this time, but a lot of them are, yes. And I understand. I mean, I went by myself, and because I just couldn't get anybody that was on the same schedule as me. I'm like, I need to watch this in the theater before I can't, right? So I went. It was still $45.
What? How much popcorn did you eat?
I've ordered.
No wonder you didn't need a crown.
And
how much candy did you consume?
That's the thing. I had a medium Diet Coke. I had a medium popcorn. I looked at the popcorn and I'm like, I should have ordered the large. That's exactly what I was thinking.
$20 right there.
Well, that's the thing. It was like over 20. It was like $25 just for the popcorn and the pop.
But that's the only place they're making their money now.
And the movie was $20. $20 to go to the movie. No wonder nobody's going to movies anymore.
See, my wife has gotten into this habit of, there's a new movie we want to watch. Okay. And I like the theater experience.
Oh, I do too. There is nothing like it.
It's no distractions.
Right.
Where if we're home watching that brand new movie because she likes to, let's make the popcorn and we're going to watch this and because it's out today and we can watch it on our service and it's cheaper in the long run to rent it for the 3 days or whatever your runtime is.
Or buy it.
Yeah, or buy it.
I mean, you can buy, I'm guessing you can buy Ghostbusters for $20.
So the problem I have with that is, okay, pause it because I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, pause it because the dog's barking. Pause it because I want to go get a snack. Pause it. But I'm like, that totally blows the experience. I go to a movie to be immersed in the movie for 2 or 2.5 hours
it's
or whatever it is.
escapism.
It's escapism.
And you don't get that when you're at home.
You do not get that at home. You could have the biggest screen TV on the planet. You do not get that at home.
Yeah, you are forced to turn your cell device off, or at least put it in airplane mode or more movie mode, so it doesn't disturb people. Although that doesn't seem to defray many people. That is, I will say, one of my pet peeves because I like to sit in the back. I don't know where is your favorite place to sit in a movie theater?
About a quarter to a third of the way down from the top.
Okay.
In the middle.
I'm usually all the way in the back. I like to be in the back row. So anything that's going on, I know.
Projector.
Yes. I don't know why that is, but I always have liked that. And somebody below me, of course, because now almost everything is stadium seating now, which I love, by the way. I remember the first time that I went to a movie in that, and I'm like, oh my goodness. How come every theater isn't like this, right?
Somebody whips out their phone to check on this.
Oh my goodness!
Peripheral vision, you can't help but pick.
And it's crazy how bright it is. That's the thing that always amazes me.
Dark room.
Is that when that phone lights up over there, it really lights up. I mean, it's just amazing how bright it seems, and it's very distracting, very distracting. So even if you're checking a quick message or something, it's still distracting to everybody around you.
It's like, we're at a movie. It's date night, honey.
Yep.
Get off of Facebook.
If you have to do that, please just step out. It's real easy. I mean, you're not paying attention to the movie anyway. Step out into the lobby and
let the four of us that are in the theater.
That's right.
Enjoy the movie.
Went to Oppenheimer. Did you go to Oppenheimer?
No.
6 months ago?
No.
At the end of the movie, the movie was packed. The whole place was full. So I was excited about that. At the end, there were 2 of us left. And the gal in front of me, she looks back and she goes, "We should have got an award for finishing the movie." I started to laugh.
Early?
Everybody left before the movie was over. Welcome to May 14th on the National Day calendar. Today, we're cultivating kindness and flapping our wings in a goofy dance.
Decency Day is a day to affirm our commitment to treating each other with respect and kindness. The term decency comes from the Latin decens, which means appropriate or fitting. While it's a concept as old as human societies, in our modern world, it's a reminder to uphold empathy, fairness, and respect in our day-to-day interactions. So let's strengthen our bonds and uplift others with our acts of decency today.
Let us not assassinate this lad further, Senator. You've done enough. Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you left no sense of decency?
So what does this mean to you?
It means a common courtesy. It means kindness, you know?
I can go along with that. So is it a smile instead of a frown? Is it just being kind to each other and being patient with each other? I mean, is it all of that? Okay.
It's all of that. It's opening the door. It's letting someone walk in first. It's all of those things. Decency and kindness is free. It should be given out effortlessly.
From acts of goodwill, we turn to a dose of silly with Dance Like a Chicken Day. At the heart of this day is the chicken dance, a quirky and endearing dance routine that first flapped its wings in the 1950s. Created by Swiss accordion player Werner Thomas, the dance quickly spread, becoming a fixture at weddings, parties, and anywhere fun is on the menu. So let's embrace the silliness, flap our wings, and remember that life is better when we're not afraid to be a little goofy.
Oh, this is your jam.
You should see the certificate we have on the wall out here.
So you have a record for this, correct?
The world record for the longest chicken dance, and that's the longest in length, 1.6 miles.
That is super cool.
Oh, yeah. I had a good time that day.
Okay, do the dance.
All right.
I'm LaToya Johnson.
I'm Marlo Anderson.
Thank you for joining us on our journey to celebrate every day.
All right, everybody, dance with us.
Talk of the Town, weekday mornings starting at 9 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
KLXX Mandan Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union Studio.
Your destination.
With everything you have on your plate, earning your degree online seems impossible. But at Grand Canyon University, we specialize in helping you fit a master's degree in business into your busy day. Your graduation team, led by your own GCU counselor, provides you with the personal support you need to succeed. Achieve your goals with a plan and team behind you. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
And ideas. RM World Travel. Sunday morning, starting at 5 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app. Portions of the following program are pre-recorded. Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
What else you got on your tech news? Was it Star? What's the Boeing
Starliner?
Starliner? Yeah. Didn't you have some news about that?
Yeah, that was. Although,
is it funny news?
Do you trust going up in anything Boeing into space right now?
Wow. And flying Boeing planes all the time just because they have one or two that don't go well.
I hope they put the bolts in the Force one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Xage, which is a security company, landed a $17 million Space Force contract to deliver zero trust access control. And I had no idea what that was.
I still don't know what that means.
You don't? Okay.
They received a $17 million contract.
Yeah, from the U.S. Space Force's Space System Command to offer its zero trust access control and data protection across SSC's current and next generation ground and space architecture. So basically, it's another layer of cybersecurity because, well, if NASA's contracting with these different companies to be a bus, because that's basically what they're doing, then you need some extra security.
Okay.
So they support federal government clients. But I got thinking about that and like, technology used to be so much simpler and security was done in-house. And you take an agency like NASA, and NASA has a lot of proprietary things. You work with NASA a lot, and there's all this stuff in-house. But when you start going out of house with subcontractors on things like the Starliner and SpaceX and figuring out the bus service, that throws that extra layer of cybersecurity, intellectual property security, because we've talked about this. What's the one thing NASA does? ROI.
Big ROI.
You can't tell me that unscrupulous governments wouldn't want that technology.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
So you have to accentuate all the security stuff. And I never thought of that, but, oh, wait a minute. You're opening a door or you're opening a window when you're having subcontractors or these outside agencies that are providing services for you.
The news about that must be about the technology, because awarding a $17 million contract by NASA or Space Force or whatever is not, I know $17 million is a lot of money. To you, it would be that is just a ton of money.
Not in government.
Not for them. I mean, it's not even newsworthy almost, that's why I'm surprised by that. I love, the era that we've grown up in is always amazes me. The only other era that I think would be more interesting is if you were born in about 1880, 1890, where you grew up with horses. And there was an era, probably, and especially in picking on a North Dakota area here, where you were probably on horseback going to town, watching a plane go over your overhead. You know what I mean? Because cars hadn't really caught up here yet. There was an article in the Mandan News from 1920, and they had counted 400 cars in town that day for the 4th of July parade.
Ooh.
I know. That's the point, is that never happened, and there was all these cars in town. So in 1920, but we had already been, there were already planes flying around at that time. So it's really an interesting time. We kind of live in that same era right now, in my opinion, with other tech, with, artificial intelligence and all this other stuff, and space travel. I think it's so cool when you fly into Orlando, Florida, and you head on out to Kennedy Space Center towards Cocoa Beach, right? It's about an hour, and you go by like Titusville. That's exactly right. I think of that all the time too. I dream of Jeannie. And you go out towards there, and you're on the highway, and they got those big signs overhead, Titusville, that way, right? And you're driving down, and it might say something about NASA this way, and you drive a little further, and here's a big Space Force sign, and I'm like,
that's cool.
Space Force and a big sign on the interstate? Are you serious? It was just amazing to see that.
See, it's Space Force is like, wait a minute, wasn't that a cartoon when I was growing up? And
well, there's
the Dakota ring, and
yes, and there's kind of what is the actor's name? He was in The Office. He was like the head of The Office.
Steve Carell?
Yes, yeah. Yes. Like Netflix or Prime or somebody has a series called Space Force, and all the other commanders, because he ends up being commander of Space Force and commander of the Army and commander of the Navy. All these people are laughing at him because you're the commander of Space Force type of thing. And of course, they don't know what they're doing most of the time, which is, and I'm sure that's what it was designed to be, is to kind of make a joke out of it. But it's not really a joke anymore.
Kind of like McHale's Navy. They didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
If anybody gets that reference. So the mission under the contract has 3 priority initiatives. The first one is the cyber hardening of current terrestrial based systems, including ground stations, the modems, operational technology assets, all of that using their zero trust principles. So that's this platform that they've come up with. The second is to deploy the zero trust capabilities across next generation ground and space systems, including commercial and defense interactions in hybrid satellite architectures. So the third one, the final part of the mission, is the deployment of Xage Zero Trust for secure data exchange with Xage Fabric guaranteeing data integrity, confidentiality, and authenticity. Okay, as I'm reading through this, I'm like, okay, what's the cool stuff that's coming that we don't know about?
Well, what's the cool stuff that's coming to, hack that?
Yeah.
A lock is only as good as the next person. It reminds me of...
because this, when I read the article, they're setting up for the next generation of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. So what are they inventing right now, right?
Maybe the transporter.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's NASA.
What was the locking mechanism you could put on the steering wheel? Like that arm that would go...
Oh, yeah, the steering wheel lock.
Yeah, and they had like
bar with the...
Yeah, and they had like, $19.99, but we have $1 million guarantee that nobody can break this. And then somebody break it with like a paper clip or something.
Or the people just start taking the steering wheel off. It's a different steering wheel. It's 4 bolts, folks.
But there was something that...
Security circumvented.
That took care of it, and it was something as insane as like a nickel or a quarter or a paper clip or something, and that was the end of the...
Super Talk.
Talk of the town on Super Talk 1270.
Data centers, whatever you want to call them.
You say potato, I say potato.
And I'll even intermix them in the same sentence. I'll say data and no data.
Do that. Just saying.
Don't. Yeah, I started. I knew you were going there.
Jar needs some more money.
Yeah. It's not so full right
Chris
now.
was saying they're supposed to be like $8,000.
Yeah,
right now, but
I don't know that I'm saying it most of the time, which is what's funny about it, right? Anyway, the energy they consume it's just insatiable. So what did you find out?
Okay, so I'm reading an article about data centers, and data center developers in Northern Virginia are asking utility Dominion Energies, that's the big MDU or whatever, and our world it's MDU or some of the other electric co-ops that we have here in our state. But so Dominion Energy, huge on the East Coast. They're asking for as much power as several nuclear reactors can generate. So fire up the nuclear reactors, set it on high, because we'll take it all. And the reason for it is AI. Artificial intelligence is helping drive up electricity demand. Now, we just saw this locally. There's a data center in North Dakota where we live.
I thought you were going to say The Simpsons.
I don't want Homer in charge or anything. No.
Homer's got to throw that switch so that we can get more power from the nuclear generator. But yes, North Dakota has this issue as well.
Yeah, and there's a rate increase because with increased demand, they spread that out. So you've got a data center, and this was a big deal, and ratepayers' rates went up. So you had rates go up at your home because of a data center, because of their demand for electricity. I think it's like, well, why aren't they paying it? But that's not how it works. I think it should be how it works. But
I wonder...
But data centers kind of became a thing about 4 years ago, 3.
Well, they've been around forever.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to...
They had a crypto boom.
Well, that's the thing.
It was the crypto side.
That's correct.
They had a huge boom.
And then that's been accentuated now because of the AI boom.
You're right.
So now you got both things going on.
And sunk a lot of Jews.
Oh, my goodness. It's just incredible. Yeah, it's I wonder what our rate is right now. I know that for the longest time we averaged in North Dakota 8.1 cents a kilowatt hour, which is the second lowest in the country.
Ample
by the way.
electricity,
Idaho's
plentiful
cheapest.
electricity. But in Idaho's different because we have got the coal plants. They have got hydro.
Yeah.
They got hydro coming out of their ears.
Yeah.
But are we going to run out of electricity?
Well, and then you throw in the demands for electric vehicles.
I say I don't think that's even
It's a triple whammy scenario.
As much as politics want to go down that road, I don't think that's even viable because of the mining stuff and just the power demand. The grid's not going to handle it.
It can't handle it now.
So you have to figure out, how do I charge my vehicle on a local basis, like at my home? And does that mean that everybody has to have solar panels on their roof? Do I have to have my own wind turbine connected to my home?
I see this coming. If you want to have an electric vehicle, you have to be able to provide
your own demand.
Yeah. And there is that possibility. Or
I think it's a very possible.
Or maybe you live in a complex, and this would make a lot of sense. And I'm thinking of 55 plus complexes that, maybe you and I might move into someday. But I'm just saying
a word.
What's the place in Florida that's always talked about? I've actually watched those ads a couple times. I'm like, that doesn't look so bad. They got 18 golf courses in this thing. Are you serious?
The villages are
that's
for another reason.
But I could see something someplace like the villages. It would be very easy for them with the space that they have to solar, at least for electric vehicles. I'm just throwing that out there. But anyway, if that were all to come to fruition, we can't keep up. We can't keep up now. How are we supposed to keep up? This is the scenario that's going to happen this summer. I would put money on this, that there's going to be a place, and I'm going to pick California. They're going to have to choose between air conditioning and AI or data processing.
Or death.
Well, it's one of the choices.
Well,
are you willing to forego all the AI that's going on out there? Because that needs this much power, and in order to feed that, you need this much power, but we can't then run the air conditioning that's going on in the state. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be the big choice.
In the winter, when people lose power, we see this in the summer when people lose power.
But it's usually a bigger deal in the summer.
Heat and we live in the northern plains,
right?
And we know what it's like when your heat's not working.
Yep.
And it's more dangerous for the vast majority of the population in the summer without air conditioning, because people with medical issues or elderly are more vulnerable to excessive heat. You can always throw a sweater on. I do.
So this is interesting. Is AI more important than people's health? This is what I'm asking.
So when does California start hooking people up like the Matrix? Because they need the power.
I'm telling you right now, this is going to happen this summer. There's such a demand being put on our grid for AI.
So putting this into perspective.
It's incredible.
So Dominion Power Company, that's been asked for this, regularly fields requests from developers whose planned data center campuses need as much as several gigawatts of electricity. And the chief executive officer for Dominion said that during the company's first quarter earnings call, a gigawatt is roughly the output of a nuclear reactor and can power how many homes?
1.2 million.
Half of that is
600,000.
750.
Okay.
So 750,000.
So I wasn't that far off.
You weren't that far off.
Okay.
But 750,000 homes versus a singular.
How many homes are in North Dakota?
More than 750,000.
Nope. We don't have that for population.
Well, yeah, that's our population.
So, and what's the average household?
Everybody's got a lake home.
That is,
you got more than one.
That is not true.
More than one home.
Oh my goodness. It's like cows. There are more cows in North Dakota than there are people.
Well, that's true.
There's more homes as well. I don't know. That's but the point I'm getting to here is 750,000 people. Let's say 2 people per home. All right. So I'm sure it's higher than that, right? But that we're talking probably enough power for 3 North Dakotas.
Well, according to Dominion's call, and you know how the death of the coal industry, AI needs so much power. And this is why the coal industry in states like North Dakota is viable, because AI needs so much power that old coal plants have to stick around.
Absolutely. So let's get mining.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. Whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, GCU's learning environments are designed for supportive networking and collaboration. With over 330 academic programs, GCU provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. The pursuit to serve others is yours. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
I'm reading the amount of power generated in North Dakota. This is a list of electricity generating power stations in the U.S. in the U.S. state of North Dakota. In 2021, North Dakota had a total summer capacity of 9,187 MW. Is that megawatts?
Megawatts.
Okay. Through all of its power plants, and a net generation of 42,176 gigawatts.
That's a lot.
So when they're saying 1 gigabyte or 1 gigawatt generation, is that a daily generation, or is that a, like for the nuclear plant you were looking at there for the data center?
Yeah, I believe so.
So we have
a metric they use.
We have, if that's the case, then so 42,000, you divide that into 365 days. I mean, what is that? 100,000 a day, 120,000 a day, or one. So basically every 10 days, every 9 days, we produce a gigawatt of power in North Dakota.
And the case used to be most of it went onto the grid and left the state.
Right.
And the state residents benefited from that because our energy costs were much lower because of what we were selling out in the open market out onto the grid. What has changed over the last couple of years is now we're looking at a potential deficit. I don't think it's out of the question that you could be seeing some brownouts and rolling blackouts in North Dakota this year.
Wow.
Because of
the data centers again.
The data centers.
Yeah. Because there's the one up in Williston, right? That was built, and then that one is operational now.
Yep.
Oh my goodness! Because I think that one
that was very operational because people are complaining about the noise coming from.
Oh, that's right. And was it that it uses more than the city of Williston?
Yeah.
Just that data center.
Just that data center.
And then the one to the southeast of Bismarck that's being built, and I forget what town it's being built by.
Yeah, that's going to be another.
But that dwarfs one. What the one up in Wilson is, as far as
whatever
power.
ends up at the pyramid.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we got this thing in North Dakota called pyramid.
Yeah,
it's a pyramid.
I'm surprised that was never became. It should have been a tourist attraction.
Yeah,
still could be actually. I mean, it's
kind of a Ripley's Believe It or Not.
It kind of is that we have this.
We have a pyramid in North Dakota.
Yeah, not built by the Egyptians though. Just so people understand that.
Possibly the same aliens, though.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It
was built by
they live a long time.
Yeah, it was military
time travel.
It's weird. It's part of. It was, if I remember correctly, it was part of kind of the NORAD network.
Yeah,
and to identify if the Russians launched missiles over the pole.
I don't remember all the story anymore. I just know that they basically turned it on and shuttered it a day or two later.
Yeah.
Because the Cold War was officially over.
It works. Now let's shut it off.
Yeah. But I've
down the wall. All right, we're done.
I did hear from a few people who were up there that it did actually operate for like a year. But I think officially it was like on for a day or something. And then that was it. The Cold War's over. Let's turn it off. Built a whole town around it and everything, or upgraded that town anyway. Yeah.
The people in Tacoma, it's like, hey, it went away.
Yeah.
We got a lot of cool stuff.
But it looks like they're coming back, so that's kind of a cool deal. We should road trip up there and see what's going on.
Well,
and do
now
a show
it's a
there.
data center.
Yes.
They're putting a data center in there.
We should go check that out.
We should.
Yeah,
I think they should
good
go on the
idea.
road
We should do that.
someday.
We have other places. We're supposed to go to Estevan too.
Oh, yes.
We forgot about that. And I think
It's on the
Devil's
list.
Devil's Lake would really be interested in having us up there too. We need to talk to the new director of the drone facility there. So that would
I
be
have
fun.
not spoken with them yet.
I haven't either.
You know, 'cause
I know that they're
a friend of ours passed away that
Yep.
was running the drone program
Yep.
up there at Lake Region. And,
Yeah. What an incredible success story that is too.
yeah.
So anyway, back to this power stuff. It's just fascinating to me that we could even put our own selves in our own selves again. And I apologize to everybody. I know Steve and I get on a kind of local, regional rant sometimes, but that's because we're kind of involved in our local, regional type of stuff here. We know that people listen to us across the country, but you should take lessons from us here. I really do believe that is the case. I mean, North Dakota actually has, when it comes to the grid, probably one of the best electrical grids in the country.
Locally.
Yes.
Yes.
So really everybody should come and take a look at what we have going on. However, these outside influences are starting to tax that. Well, when I say tax, I mean, it's
It's not even
monetarily, but-
outside, though. I mean, because look at what's getting built in North Dakota.
But that's kind of what I'm getting at here is that these outside influences are coming in and saying, hey, you guys have cheap electricity. We can access you from this particular spot. So we're going to build a data center here. And then they get the local or state okay to do that. And then they move forward. There's not a lot of people in North Dakota, in my opinion, that are building these things. It's bigger companies coming in and seeing the opportunity here, which is great. Economically, it's great for us. But for our residents, it could be interesting because our day of cheap electricity might just be going away because of this, unless we figure out a way to keep up with it.
Well, the cool thing I took out of the article was, in fact, Dominion actually they've hooked up a lot. So there's a lot of data centers on the East Coast. I mean, a lot.
Yep.
And since 2019, so 5 years, all the ones that they've hooked up, 2 or 3 of these new ones will suck more energy than all of the ones that have been hooked up previously, because data centers, because of AI, are getting so large and so power hungry. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
One of the things that does surprise me a little bit is that they're not, well, it's kind of an ROI thing, I guess, as I'm thinking about this. Because a lot of the energy that's consumed in data centers is cooling, right? We have here where we live, have a significant,
January, open the door.
right?
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
That's why they're here.
We have this 5 or 6 month window where you probably don't need to do too much as far as cooling it goes, because you can just use the air to cool it. And maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm guessing at least part of 6 months. We're in a month right now that it can be below freezing some days and 90 degrees the next day type of thing. But yeah, so you have that. It's interesting that some of them haven't moved further north into the glacier spaces or whatever, but it could be just simply because it's more difficult to get.
Maybe they don't speak Canadian.
Eh?
Eh? Just saying.
But we have Alaska, but the pipeline is the big deal, right? How do you get enough lines to a huge data center without the cost of it would be just astronomical as well. So that has to be the big deal.
Alaska doesn't have a lot of the infrastructure either for
Right.
trip.
Grand Canyon University's RN to BSN online degree program makes earning your bachelor's in nursing possible. Balance online coursework with local in-person clinicals to position yourself for potential leadership opportunities in the time you have from wherever you are, leaving room for what matters. Achieve your goals with your personalized plan and team behind you. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
Talk 1270.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Hey, I got the vitamin out of my teeth. I like breaks. but that was a little uncomfortable because I waited that whole 8
I
minutes.
saw you over there like,
That's probably kind of gross for you to be like, what is that guy doing over there?
doing?
Why is he still on this show? I'm sure is what you were thinking.
I have one crown and I hate it because
Oh, yeah.
it's like it's flat and it's just weird.
I don't know. Did I ever tell you the story of this crown?
No.
So I'm walking through Vegas. It's a little dark, the street that I'm walking on. And I like reach in my pocket and I'm like, oh, I got some Tic Tacs. So I pop open a Tic Tac, right? And I had it in my hand. And as I'm walking, I popped the Tic Tac in and I didn't realize I was on the edge of the sidewalk into the street. And it was just kind of this dead parking lot. So, but you had to step down into this thing, right? So it was like, pop the Tic Tac in. The next step is like another foot deeper than what I expected it to be. So I was caught off guard. And that's exactly when I bit down because of I don't know if I'm making any sense here or not.
I've done this. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it just because that extra force just busted that tooth. Oh my goodness.
It's you go to step down off a curb, except the curb's like an extra foot long.
Yeah.
So,
and you didn't know it. And you didn't know that was there.
Yeah. The whole stride and the mechanics of taking a step are thrown off and you get that extra jolt.
Exactly what happened. It was just that timing of that's when I bit down on that Tic Tac.
I know exactly.
Didn't want to bite on the Tic Tac. It just happened because of that stride.
Well, and that's how you bite your tongue a lot.
That's true.
Yeah. Similar popcorn hull.
Yeah.
That's how my crown. Popcorn hull.
Serious.
Similar thing. I stepped off a curb, popcorn hull. Or no, steps. You know, I was going downstairs and stepped down and it was a little further than popcorn
But
hull.
speaking of technology, I'm stunned by the fact because this was my first crown. I know people who've had crowns.
Come on, princess.
I've been lucky, I guess. I've been very blessed with good teeth, so I don't know why that is, but considering what I eat, but I would think that I would. But I'm an avid brusher of my teeth, I guess, have been since I was very young.
Oh, remember I told you about the mints that's how astronauts brush your teeth?
Oh, yes.
I got some of those.
Really?
They work.
Really?
Yeah, they're really cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
The astronauts do.
I was stunned that I got my crown while I was sitting there.
Yeah, they just pop it out, boom, done.
I mean, basically an hour, 15 minutes, I suppose. Something like that. I mean, it's like 45 minutes for them to make it.
Labs right in the...
But they have a scanner. They scan your bite. They scan all of this stuff and the computer makes those adjustments. And yeah, it's impressive. It's very impressive compared to, and even the sealing part of it, right? They put that contact cement or whatever, and then they use the blue light to activate it. It's very impressive. Yeah.
So I had technology-wise, just the labs have gotten so small. They're in the dentist office now. And they used to have to send stuff out for that. I did the Invisalign.
Okay.
I got them in right now. And they scan everything and then your aligners show up and they fit. It's amazing, that little camera sensor thingy that they run around your mouth. It's like, wow.
It is amazing. The other thing that amazes me too is
simple technology too.
Yeah.
But it's 3D scanning.
Right.
At this little wand.
It's impressive.
It's very impressive.
The blood labs are the other thing that I'm always impressed with. You know, not that long ago, you would wait a week to get your blood work back, or at least a few days, right? I mean, a lot of times now I'll go have my annual physical and, have blood work done or whatever. And by the time I get back to the office, it's in my chart already. Oh my goodness. I'm just blown away by that. It's got to be just wonderful for doctors who are working.
Marlo, your blood is 3 parts nougat and
1 part beer,
caramel, 1 part beer.
Actually, the beer would not be true. Maybe more popcorn, but yeah, that's why I'm I'm
20 parts butter.
I'm not happy about your popcorn tooth story there. That doesn't excite me at all.
Well, you're a popcorn nut like I am, but I have this really bad habit. I chew on the holes.
I do too. I don't know why.
Should not chew on the holes.
I don't know why I do that too, but there's something about
Just
it.
like the popcorn.
Yeah, that's right. You can always make more popcorn. It's pretty cheap.
Well, I think part of it is I don't want to waste it.
It's our old mentality.
It's popcorn.
Yeah.
Just throw it away.
Yeah.
No, I got to chew on those.
Yeah. Even popcorn technology. There's
popcorn technology?
Well, I have a bowl. I don't know if you've seen these. They've been around a little while, but it's a microwave bowl. Have you seen these?
Mm-mm.
I'm always surprised how many people don't know this exists. It's a bowl, a regular bowl. And I put like a cup of popcorn, unpopped popcorn, into the bottom of this bowl. And I drop a little olive oil in there. And then
you try to be healthy.
I've heard that helps a little bit, you know. It didn't used to be olive oil. I will tell you that.
The butter, you drizzle on it afterwards.
There's a lot of times I don't put butter on it anymore because the olive oil does have kind of a nutty taste
all
to it.
The salt that you put on it.
I am not a salt person.
Actually, have you ever made popcorn with coconut oil?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. But anyway, and it just pops. So it's like a microwave popper without having to use the microwave paper type of thing. It's just a bowl that it pops in, and then about 2 minutes later, I have a full bowl of popcorn.
Have you ever made popcorn on the stovetop?
Yes, that used to be the only way I used to make it.
Pot, and you put the cover on it. Just not. You can't put a regular lid on it.
Yes.
You got to put that screen cover.
Yep.
Hold it there, and then shake the pot on the.
Although you can use,
that's the best popcorn.
I used to have a one with what you're talking about with the little lid on it too. But you could make popcorn in a regular one. You just have to pop it open just a little bit when you're shaking it. You know,
and you have to let the moisture out.
That's correct. That's what I mean. That's why you need to open that up just a little bit.
Screen cover. Do you remember the old camping ones?
Yes.
Popcorn makers?
Yes.
The little slide screen top, and you put it over the flame. And I used to have
good times
when we were growing up. That was
always burned it that way, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny how
as much as my marshmallows in the fire.
Well, but that's you want to burn the marshmallows.
Well, yeah, you got to get a little,
and the hot dogs.
You got to get the crust on them.
That's right. But you don't want to burn. Don't
burn popcorn.
It's such a fine line, right? From good popcorn, and as soon as you burn it just a little bit, it's not like you can just cut off the part of the steak that's too well done or whatever. When you have that burnt smell in the popcorn bowl, it's the whole bowl.
Yeah, throw it away. Throw it over.
Yeah,
because you scorched it.
Yes, it's exactly right. So, hey, we spent the whole segment talking about food
and not popcorn technology. Maybe we're both hungry.
Yeah, maybe so.
One of the many things that you see at CES, we have an opportunity to delve into at the Tech Ranch. And have you ever had a pocket translator? Well, let's get all the details.
Hello, nice to meet you.
There you go. And then after the thing, you gotta speak it.
It's nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, this works.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
it's pretty good.
So have you ever run into this issue where you run into somebody maybe in a taxi cab or in a store or whatever, and you can't communicate with them because they speak a different language, right? Well, Pocket Talk has actually solved this issue with a very useful tool. Joji is standing next to me. Joji, tell me a little bit about this product.
Sure. So Pocket Talk is the product that we start to introduce in the U.S. from last year, October. And what it does is that it is a two-way translation device. And basically, you could set two languages here. And it has 74 languages that we could select to. And any languages that, you pick.
And I noticed it even has Swahili.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
And then it translates right away. So it does require to have a mobile, connections.
Okay.
But what we do is that we offer the mobile data with the, this device. So
are you able to actually pair it with like your smart device as well? So if I create Wi-Fi connection through here. You can do that as well.
Wi-Fi it works, Bluetooth it works.
Okay.
So anytime that you need to have a bigger audience, then you want to have a louder translation, then you can use the Bluetooth speaker to use it in a conference or something. So that's becomes convenient in a business environment.
So, and it's actually pretty, compared to my phone, it's pretty decent size. I mean, it's convenient. You can slip this into your pocket,
right?
Which I think is great. Suggested retail on this?
Yeah, retail is that $300. It is a little bit in the high end, but like I said, that $300 includes that 2 years of data plan. So when you open up your box, when you start it off, that's where the 2 years starts. And this SIM works over 100 countries. So everywhere you go, I tested out in Russia or China, it works. And, but after 2 years that, unfortunately we don't offer that mobile data anymore. But you could use this as a, Wi-Fi, connection or hotspot. So it's still, you'll be able to get that. But that $300 includes everything.
Can you maybe give me an example of when you've actually had to use this, traveling or whatever? Yeah.
So usually that in a hotel or, those environments that you don't really need to use it. But when you go outside, using a cab or to the suburbs or more exotic locations, that's where it gets more convenient. A lot of cases, cell phone itself does it, a lot of things. But this is more of convenience, and then it's just very handy to use it, and then facilitate the communication with the locals or wherever you travel.
So this is available online?
Yes, it is available online, and also the beta store that we have partnered with.
Okay, very good. Yoji, I appreciate your time today.
All right.
This is the Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson, at CES 2019.
All right.
Hello, North Dakota. Joe Gigante, host of the Regular Joe Show, now heard weeknights 9 to midnight here on Super Talk 1270. Together we'll tackle the hottest topics, be it politics, entertainment, or the culture, unapologetically through the lens of true conservatism, all while remembering to laugh and have a little bit of fun. Live life boldly. The Regular Joe Show, weekday evening starting at 9 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
Talk of the Town, weekday morning starting at 9 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
KLXX Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union Studio.
Grand Canyon University makes earning your degree possible with over 130 academic programs for traditional campus students, with more than 80 bachelor's programs offered online. GCU provides you with the personal support you need, from complimentary unofficial transcript evaluations within 24 business hours to scholarships, academic support, and your GCU graduation team, led by your own university counselor. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.